Yay, that's pretty cool.
Pete Lee, comedian's going to join us in the next hour. Always funny. Always have a good time with him. So we'll look forward to that. We got our mac and cheese lady that we bring out every year at this time, who we're all in love with. I have thoughts on
Lest we forget her message.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very important.
And speaking of flavor, I sampled your bat mitzvah queen's mints.
Are they weird?
Nothing minty about them.
Really? I haven't tried them.
Curiously unstrong.
Are they just like sugar cubes? That's what they look like.
They just
They're placebos for double blind.
You took a ton of acid.
I was funny. I was just talking to Dr. Drew about placebos, and he was talking about the new COVID pill, and they had more side effects in the placebo group. And I was like, how do you have more side effects in the sugar? I was going sugar pill.
Yeah.
It's a sugar pill. He kept pointing at his head.
Oh, yeah, totally psychosomatic.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's just the very definition of empty calories.
It's like a dehydrated marshmallow.
Yes. Yeah. It's
with a cute little logo.
No reason to eat mint.
Go ahead and check it out.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Also,
if you had like a narc stepdad and he was coming down the hall and you popped a few of those in your mouth because you ripped the bong load 10 minutes earlier,
fucked.
You'd be fucking hanging in the wind.
Yep.
You tell that niece of yours. I got hung out to dry, man. I put that mint in yesterday, and I just thought, I just watched myself getting fatter with zero pleasure.
With a sugar spike and then a crash.
A sugar spike and then a crash.
No good deed. Also, I tested the theory that the entire hammer was on YouTube last night. It is. It's still great.
It's real and it's spectacular.
It's spectacular. And I think hopefully it's you. Somebody's still getting paid for it because it does have ads.
Oh, boy.
So you can watch it. Hopefully you're seeing some scratch from that. And it's on there in its entirety, and it's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I was doing...
It's going right to his Venmo.
Yeah, that's right.
He'll never see.
He doesn't have a Venmo.
I was doing some sort of... it is an interesting thing. I was doing comedy. I'll circle back to what I was going to say. But I was doing comedy about 3 weeks ago at the outdoor in the round space. And when I was done, they're like, oh, we don't have cash, but we can Venmo you, right? And I was like, I don't have
I might
Venmo.
as well do the show for free.
Right. And then they're like, oh, yeah, what are you going to do? But I thought if I was in charge of distributing cash to comedians, anyone over the age of 46, I would keep the cash in my pocket and go, oh, give me your Venmo. And they'd go, I don't know what that is. And they go, oh, sorry. And then they would
Joey Coco Diaz.
Right. Then they would just leave, and I'd save myself $300.
Yeah.
So funny, I was doing some press thing on this Daily Wire stand-up special series I got coming out, which is on, I think, Black Friday it comes out. Anyway, I was doing that, and at some point, and honestly, I don't ask a lot of questions going in. It's just more like, where's the van going to be? What time do I need to be in the seat? Blah, blah, blah. Seat's kind of funny because you wear like a jacket and a shirt from the waist up. You sit there in your shorts, and they put some sort of cityscape behind you. And it's kind of interesting. They bring these mobile vans everywhere. And I was doing that. And at some point, the host said, I want to read a tweet of yours because I think it's important.
Gotcha.
Like, oh, man. Yeah, my mind was awash with thoughts, and he goes, well,
Mike Lynch did it.
He goes, I want to read a tweet of yours because I think it's really important and I'd like you to discuss it. And I was like, oh, boy, here we go.
Explain your tweet.
Yeah.
And he said, a tweet I sent out like 3 days ago, it said, we need to all come together, which is me being ironic because every once in a while I'll go, children are the future, or we got to mask up, lock it down, just say stupid stuff. But in this guy's world, it was poignant and meaningful.
Yeah.
And he didn't know it was ironic. And then I was sitting there.
Oh, boy.
And now I had to buy into my own ironic yarn that I'd woven. You know what I mean? I can't go, I was just fucking around.
There's two ways to go. One is like, I try tweet platitudes for idiots to laugh at.
Right.
Or,
Like you.
Yeah,
Or that's-
the implication.
that shines a light on his team,
Yeah.
his production
Yeah.
team, So I found myself having to spit out reasons why we need to all
no.
come
So
together.
did you
with
start
different-
believing your own words? What did you say?
I really have no recollection of what I said. I probably steered it to something I was angry about almost immediately, but it was funny that was the tweet.
We've all got to come together over these potholes.
So the other thing I got, well, should we play the mac and cheese lady? We do it every year. I don't even know her name, but
How long has this meme been around? Was it 2 years, 3 years ago? It was
Yeah.
before COVID.
Yeah.
yeah, feels
Recent,
like it's
though.
been a few years. And she echoes all our thoughts on Thanksgiving.
It's not broken.
For me, it's more global. It's more everyday than, it's like I was saying to someone, Mike August used to have oatmeal cookies on the rider.
Okay.
Something happened to him. I don't know what happened. Mike decided, well, I'll just get the hot chocolate lava cake at the club. We
Right.
don't need the
Right.
oatmeal cookies. But he would just go oatmeal cookies, and 7 out of 10 of them would have pieces of cranberry in them. And Mike never liked it, but Mike never said oatmeal cookies with
Minus cranberries.
chunks of super kind of sour
Yeah.
pieces in it. He just said oatmeal cookies, but that's what oatmeal cookie has become. And my whole thing is oatmeal cookies, if you like oatmeal cookies, not broken,
Yeah.
leave them the fuck alone.
They don't need to be frosted.
Raisin.
No,
Yeah.
don't need it. And this leads us nicely into mac and cheese.
So this is from November of 2018. At Miami Baby tweeted this with the caption, "Y'all please listen to my auntie Snap. She was so mad because my cousin tried to make some macaroni yesterday with cream cheese and messed up the whole meal."
We told you don't put that shit in the macaroni cheese, but you insist on putting it. So since you want to do things your damn way, we going to do shit our way. We get ready to go upstairs and go to sleep while you clean up all this shit for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. But guess what? This shit ain't fair that we couldn't even get a decent thing of macaroni and cheese. We got to wait to go back to Goose for Auntie Karen to make us some damn macaroni and damn cheese. Because you decided to do some bullshit you done seen off the damn internet. Don't experiment on damn Thanksgiving. Don't experiment on Thanksgiving. You experiment by your damn self.
With cream cheese before.
Hell, don't try it with us. We don't want that shit. Auntie Karen gave you the damn recipe. But you chose to do shit on your own.
Love that woman. She should be put on a postage stamp. Like, all right, Harriet Tubman, fine.
Well, we
Move
don't feel
over.
lately.
Yeah.
Make room with someone who's really having an impact.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean? Yeah.
Get the message out.
I also thought, I had an Aunt Pat, and she was no Aunt Snap. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
very white,
Yeah.
had a short haircut, very kind of buttoned down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think we all need like an Aunt Snap
Fuck
in
yeah.
our life?
I want to be Aunt Snap.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that you're the right shade. I feel like
Oh.
there should be some exchange
I
program.
see.
You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
you guys are lousy with Aunt Snaps in your world. You know what I mean? Like you go to a reunion, you have 15 Aunt Snaps. By the way, they're making a lot of noise. You know what I mean? Like I only need one peacock. I don't need 13. You know what I mean? But the one I could really get some enjoyment out of.
Yeah.
You get a whole bunch of Aunt Snaps in there. You've ruined the picnic.
You're killing
you
the
know what I
lily.
mean?
I like where you're going with this, Aunt Snap, but snap is a verb in this case. I
It is?
believe.
Yeah, listen to my auntie
Aunt
Snap.
Oh,
no, I don't
you know
mind
what?
that.
I don't care.
Make
I
the
like Aunt
transition.
But
Snap.
I like it. Aunt Snap. I like it.
Auntie Snap. Yes.
Listen to my auntie Snap.
I
But
just-
I like that. Just
And you could use her for like if you have a 9-year-old who's getting into trouble and you don't want to put hands on the kid.
Right.
You don't like the optics of that.
Technically, you didn't.
You just get Aunt Snap to like come in and kind of lay down the law,
Yes.
talk about getting a switch out, critiquing highfalutin. Someone makes some poached salmon
Ugh.
for Thanksgiving. Call on Aunt Snap. She
Yep.
comes in,
the
lays the law down.
kid will wish he had put hands on him.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's
After
right.
being dressed down by Aunt Snap.
You're right. And in the spirit of not experimenting on Thanksgiving, it's not much of an experiment because I know a lot of people do it. I don't care for it, and neither does anyone I live with. But I heard tale there's going to be cornbread stuffing this year. I've never liked cornbread stuffing. I like just run-of-the-mill regular stuffing. So we'll be bringing our own.
Well, where are you bringing it?
To our, we're having a Friendsgiving.
I say, so here's my cornbread stuffing. I like cornbread. I've never had cornbread stuffing.
It's like kind of sweet. It's polenta-y. I don't care for it.
My thing is
great.
there's two criterias. One is stuffing broken?
It
Like,
is
do we
not.
not like stuffing?
It is
I
not
fucking
broken.
love stuffing in the bird, sucking up all the juice and everything is the best. And then the other one would be, oh man, I had a stuffing sandwich on Tuesday. The guys
stuffed
brought
out.
in a
I'm
big
stuffed.
tray of stuffing to work on Thursday. Like I'm
sandwich.
I'm so
stuffed.
burnt out. I'm
Yeah.
stuffed. Like I've seen traditional stuffing so often throughout the course of the year that thank you for breaking up this
Yeah.
monotony of stuffing. But the
Right.
reality is there is no stuffing consumption mid. It's like, oh, in June,
Sure.
and I ate my
4th of
weight
July
in
stuffing.
Oh,
Yeah,
stuffing
there-
binge in May.
so there is no A, it's not broken. B, we haven't got our fill of it. And I say that about most things on the table for Thanksgiving. So once again, you do the best version you can do of traditional. Make the best apple pie, make pumpkin pie, but I don't need the vein of mulberry going through it or
No,
anything like that.
no.
How much of that is just jacking off into a ceiling fan? You know what I mean? Where they announce, here's how I do it.
Yeah, it's extra points you think you're getting.
You don't. It's diminishing returns.
I totally agree. And by the way, you know what else isn't broken? Mashed potatoes.
Not at all.
Please don't fuck those up.
No. Yes.
I
Brian.
will say that I posited yesterday that if you're going to do an alternate version, this girl could have listened to me 3 years ago, and if she brought her mac and cheese, but also the regular mac and cheese, everyone would have been happy. There would have been some for everyone. That
This
said,
is my iced tea theorem. You must provide regular iced tea
Yes.
and then go off in whatever flavorful,
The
fanciful
standard. Yes.
direction you want to go, whatever whimsical flavor you want to get into, but I need the base.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
And the unbrokenest side dish of all is mac and cheese.
Yes.
Good mac and
We
cheese.
all know what
is
that
just
is.
Beautiful.
through the fucking roof.
Just because of you said tea, we went to Arthur J's the other night in Manhattan Beach, very fancy, very, very lovely. And I asked for an iced tea, and the waiter says, would you like ginger peach or like ambrosia hibiscus? And I looked at him, I didn't say a word, and do you know what he said to me without me even speaking? I know, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I'm clearly not the first one to shoot him that look.
All right.
Well, let me just say
yeah.
this, though. If I do have a second for these things. So
yes.
my Italian side of the family does an Italian stuffing. And it's pork, like the pork sausage that's ground up, you know what I mean? Like the ground up pork sausage.
listening.
Sourdough, always sourdough bread, because it's the Bay Area,
Sure.
of course. Pine nuts, vegetables, it's an Italian stuffing. And they always have the regular stuffing too, the stovetop.
stovetop.
Whatever the fuck people like,
Yeah.
idiots like. And it's, Adam, to your point, with the veggie sandwiches or the veggie pizza or whatever, put them out side by side. Which one do you think gets vanquished first?
The Italian.
Of course,
is
it's
the
the good
stovetop cooked on the stove?
I assume I have nothing to do with it, but I assume it's
Yeah,
baked.
you
gotta be in
boil
the
water,
bird.
put some butter in the water.
I
Got to
mean,
be in the
package
bird.
it
You
thing,
could
and then
probably microwave it.
You got a mashup for us, Dawson? Mashed potatoes?
Yeah, we also do this every year.
Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. But guess what? Since you fucked up the macaroni and cheese, you're cleaning up all this shit by yourself. Junior, Dejana, nor me are gonna help you clean up. Macaroni and cheese. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. Macaroni and cheese. We told you don't put that shit in the macaroni and cheese, but you insist on putting it. Macaroni and cheese. So since you want to do things your damn way, we gonna do shit our way. Macaroni and cheese. We get ready to go upstairs and go to sleep while you clean up all this shit for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. But guess what? Macaroni and cheese. This shit ain't fair that we couldn't even get a decent thing of macaroni and cheese. We got to wait to go back to Goose for Auntie Karen to make us some damn macaroni and damn cheese. Macaroni and cheese. Or you decided to do some bullshit you didn't see off the damn internet.
I love that one.
No damn thing.
Still going.
Also, apologies to Tyler Perry. I used to say your caricatures are way over the
Yeah.
top.
No, they're all
You're
online.
spot on.
Right.
So I had a couple thoughts. One was I was watching SNL, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks ago, And then I was watching it last week, and I was watching the top. And we'll do the they did the it's the cold open, but they did the one where Pete Davidson played Joe Rogan. We'll play that one, and it's a thought. It's a little philosophical, but I'm curious what you guys think. So there was the Davidson, Big Bird, Ted Cruz one. Play that.
Maybe the vaccine gave me COVID.
Yes, that sounds correct. But let's ask our resident medical expert, Joe Rogan.
Well, that's right. I used to host Fear Factor, and now doctors fear me.
Can you help me, Joe?
Oh, sure thing, Big Bird. You see, I took Carlos Mencia down. I could take COVID. Here's some zinc, and ayahuasca, and some horse medicine.
Well, why would a bird take horse medicine?
I'm a human, and I took horse medicine. And I'm speaking of things that are horse-like. Today's two sponsors are the letters S and D, as in I can S my own D.
So here was my thought. So
Looks like Uncle Fester.
They should have buffed him up like Hans and Franz.
yeah, they don't got maybe the budget's down.
For Pat.
But here was my thought. Look, Joe Rogan didn't take horse medicine, and then he had Sanjay Gupta, and he kind of
Backed him into a corner.
backed him up and had to admit it, and he just didn't do it. But it gets into the zeitgeist. But I really think where things get cemented into the zeitgeist is comedy.
Sure.
I never really
Once
thought
it's
about
a premise for a joke.
Right, so
then
you
it's like,
go-
well, you all agree on the premise.
You go, well,
Tacitly.
Fox says this and CNN says that. Well, that's an argument over the zeitgeist, but where does it go? But when it starts getting into the comedic
Yes.
realm, it is now cemented.
Yeah.
It's now it's sort of sets it. It's
You're
like
absolutely
now
right.
it's it was carved in wet cement, and now the cement's dry because it's in the comedy zeitgeist.
Yep. Do you know what a very famous example of that is? Who said, I can see Russia from my house?
Oh, Sarah Palin.
No, she did not. Tina Fey did.
Right.
But we all attribute that to Sarah
'Cause,
Palin.
like you say about comedy, the premise can't be confusing. It can be like,
Right.
oh, have you ever been down to the grocery store and blah, blah, blah? And no one can be like, no. Like, we all
Yeah.
have to kind of agree on the premise before the joke can take
I
off.
also say the key is specificity, so blah, 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 not as good as. But no,
Yada,
yeah,
yada,
it's
yada
true.
would have
Yeah.
worked too.
No, it's. I start thinking, oh, now it is.
Right.
Now it
Yes.
is because once SNL makes it that, then it just is. We don't have enough room in our
Yes.
hard drive to sort everything out.
It's okay. It's okay.
Gina's mic's flopping around. I was watching, and then I was watching last week, and they had the judge from the Rittenhouse case, and I thought, oh, if you cemented it, it's what's her name doing Judge Judy, which is really
Cecily
funny.
Strong.
Cecily Strong does a very good Judge Judy.
Judge Janine.
Oh, Janine, sorry, Judge.
Judge Janine Pirro.
We're right.
Right?
But wait a minute.
It says Janine.
It says Judge Janine.
Oh, it's what's the J-U-D?
JD, as I spell judge, buddy.
Oh, boy.
No, okay. What's the T? Oh, what's the T?
Justice with
Justice
Judge
with
Janine.
Judge.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, if I may say, judge to judge, what turned me on the most
also how you
was
spell
how
Judy.
you ruled that courtroom with
true.
an iron fist. Tell us how
Nothing to do
you
with
did
this.
it.
Well, it was all standard procedure. That's why I ordered that the prosecution not use the word victims. They were rioters, and they weren't shot. They were gadoinked. But that did not give my client an unfair advantage in any way.
Yeah.
You said my client. Do you mean the defendant?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hey, keep doing that.
Well, you do you, Judge. You do you. Thanks for coming.
All right. It's in. It's
Yeah,
in the
it's just
zeitgeist.
accepted.
It's
Now I know.
cemented. So don't ever let whatever side you're on. Don't let it get to the comedians, because then it is done. It has been spoken. All right. We have something that I was thinking about when I was doing an interview this morning, which is can't be the first to bring this up, but I haven't heard it brought up by anyone, so I'll bring it up.
What's that?
I was saying we're at a weird inflection point in time where I was saying to the person that was interviewing me at the beginning, and I've talked to everyone about the fact that at the beginning of my career, there'd be complaints. It'd be from the right, be from the religious right. They didn't like you saying this or saying that. But as I was talking about it, I said they used to police words. They did not like you saying shit or fuck or piss or God damn it. You know what I mean? Like it was very word centric. This guy used this language wherever. They didn't protest much about the theme. It was just what words you use. You know, George Carlin bit we can all reference. But I said, now we've gone towards to ideas. It's policing ideas. It's not really the words. As a matter of fact, they're wide open to the words. We were just watching CNN. They're saying bullshit and stuff like that. The cussing doesn't matter anymore. The words don't matter. It's the ideas. You know what I mean? Like their panties were in a bunch about Dave Chappelle, and certainly not because of language or words. It was the ideas.
Sure, no one specified, like, he called them this word.
He was expressing. So now we're in an idea.
Right.
The part of the sort of policing of the language has drifted into the realm of the ideas and away from the words. Words are pretty easily policed. You just go, you cannot say piss, you can say pissed off. You can't say pissed on my girlfriend. Like and then what you do with the words is anyone who's done radio knows I don't give a GD what the S, you effers, or try to MFers come up here with take a P on the F with the Z, you just start talking that way. So it's
People know what you mean.
I can get around everything, but you can't get around ideas.
Yeah.
And words are more, look, either you said shit or fuck or you didn't say shit or fuck. Ideas can be sort of morphed and moved and stretched.
There's no interpretation with words.
Like I knew I knew what you meant, or I saw what you were getting at.
The word can't be a dog whistle. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It can't, but like the idea can.
The idea could be, no, I was in support of X, Y, and Z, going way back to my nephews, where I was explaining that they're German or half German, but they shouldn't be held accountable for the Holocaust. And that's like, you called them Nazis. Yeah. Like those are these ideas that are getting pulled and morphed and turned into bad mac and cheese. And I thought that's an interesting point we're at in life, where the ideas are getting, but the words we've completely left alone.
No, you're right. And it's with the ideas that way, it's a very funny sort of he who smelt it dealt it situation. Like, well, if you're accusing me of that, your mind's in the gutter. I didn't
that's
say
what
it.
You're thinking. Yeah.
Right.
Are your Nazi nephews going to be at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, the Hitler Youth.
They shall.
Oh boy.
They shall be there.
Uncomfortable.
They're
super comfortable.
God, they're all getting. I think I got one that's still a teenager, but the other two are in their 20s now. Boy. It's kind of interesting. Everyone's just doing what they want. Like I said, like they're trying this, they're exploring that. It doesn't have to be, young people, young men, young women too, used to be kind of on the clock. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to finish college? You're going to start a family. You're going to get a career going. No, it's just kind of a lot of, I don't know what I want to do.
Time.
We'll figure it out.
What are they dabbling in? What genre?
Let's see. There's some automotive repair, which of course makes my heart sing with joy.
Yeah.
I think there's some fashion in there.
Oh.
I won't be talking to him.
Striped pajamas.
There's a little college involved. Yeah. All right. We have also a clip from Truth Yeller, which is going to be on the Daily Wire, I think, the day after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. I have not seen the clip, but, let's see. Two specials premiere this Thanksgiving. But I don't... the Leno episode is Friday, and then, the Wriggle special is Cyber Monday. And you can go to dailywire.com/Adam, save 35% on your membership now. And here's me and Wriggle, and I don't know what we're talking about because I just told Chris to pull the clip.
I get mad. Do you get mad? I get actually mad now when someone paints me up with hot gas on a plane.
You know, you ended that with the word now.
Yeah. Well, I tolerated so much as a young man. I would sit there and someone would go, give me the hot one, and it would the silent but deadly, and it would hit me like a hot slap in the face.
Right.
And I'd go, God damn it, but I wouldn't express anything. I would endure to just get through.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there and I'd shake my head. I go, who does that? What kind of manners? How far have we slid? Like, we're Rome. It's over. It's over. It's done. And I'm like, you're farting on people. And now, and I used to just endure it. Now, I'm like, oh, come on. I verbalize. I really do verbalize. I was like, where do you think you are? I'm literally just talking to the entire fuselage. Anybody in that plane's getting a taste of what I got. And now I realize, like, everybody's lost their manners on planes, right? There's no manners.
There's nothing.
It's all gone. And there's flying rage and all this stuff. And it makes a lot more sense to me because, in a way, I contribute to it with my little sliver of rage, but it's all about farting on me. Don't fart on me, man.
Yeah. I display that flag proudly at my home. Don't fart on me.
Don't fart on me.
It's a picture of Rob sleeping on a Southwest flight. Fat guy in sweatpants.
Yeah.
It's a great Rob Riggle.
Very funny.
We need to come together. He knows.
I love that guy. There's nothing better than a dude.
No, he's a total dude. He's a Midwestern dude.
He's a Midwestern, went into the Marine Corps, flies, has his, I think, his private pilot's license. Dude. Mm-hmm. Miss those dudes. They're in short supply these days. All right, let's see. I got a spot here. Oh, Adele. Yeah. Did you guys hear about this Adele situation?
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy.
If
that's what we're talking about.
Didn't listen to the album?
But had a valid excuse.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't hear the excuse part. I didn't get all the nuts and the bolts. But did you get this story? Also, I can't be too sanctimonious about it.
Adam's like, what's the problem?
I don't always do my homework.
So what happened, New York Post reported that there's an Australian TV host who flew 10,000 miles to interview Adele as part of a $725,000 deal. He gets there, he sits down with Adele. Adele's like, what'd you think of the new album? It's like, I've only heard the single. I haven't listened to it yet. And reportedly she walked out, and then Sony wouldn't let them use any of that interview, and they shelved it. So the guy then says that he received the email with as an e-card link, kind of like how you get your screeners at him. So he missed it upon landing in London, so he didn't know he even got the album. And then so he also then just did an interview last night or today where he said Adele didn't storm out. In fact, it was the polar opposite. What was meant to be 20 minutes was extended to 29 minutes, and she loved me. But yet Sony hasn't allowed them to release any of the interviews. So everyone's kind of questioning what really happened.
If he's right, then this poor guy, because he said in the interview, first of all, no excuses. I am mortified. I am embarrassed. I just, that's all I can say about that. But I didn't get this link. I was on the plane or whatever. I didn't even know it had been made available to me. So I told her, I heard the song that you let us hear. And now if he's saying and by the way, we got along great, then I do feel bad for the guy.
Yeah,
I do too.
He got suspended.
Was it
why?
Well, was the album available before
just
this?
to VIPs that were going to interview her.
Well, then that's not on him.
Supposedly, if I'm hearing this correctly, the link was sent mid-flight.
Yeah, he missed the link.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was November 4th, so it's before the album dropped.
Oh, well, then that's not on him. Plus, I'd say to Adele, hey, man, it was only a 10-hour flight. If we're talking about a 14-hour flight, I could have carved out a little time.
That's egregious.
I watched 7 of the Fast and Furious franchise. But
had to get my 9 hours in.
Yeah, so if he couldn't have procured it any other way, and the people sent it to him when he was in mid-flight, then that's kind of on his people, not on him, right? Why is Sony getting their panties in such a bunch?
I mean, Conspiracy Chris would say that maybe she did walk out. Or something bad did happen, and they just don't want it getting out. And they maybe told the interviewer, hey, you got to go out and say that she was great and she loved you and everything went fine.
Well, and there was a meme this weekend of her giving like dagger eyes, and so that's like the thing. Like she was irate about it, but yeah, who knows?
Maybe he heard it and didn't like it and was trying to cover. God knows, Gina and I have seen a handful of movies for this show that we have to be creative about our line of questioning.
What'd you think of the movie? It sure was.
It really was something. How did you land the role?
Is there?
Please talk for 20 minutes.
Is formerly fat angrier than regular weight since junior high?
What the fuck do you ask?
Oh, yeah.
More indignant?
Well, for women, there's so much that goes along with being heavy, like your whole life. There's the treatment, there's a whatever, and then all of a sudden you're down all the weight. It's the anger, it's the chip on the shoulder.
Combine that with just the diva.
Pringle on her shoulder.
Well, just with the diva archetype, right? The singer, the solo singer who's always on stage and being catered to, and she is relatively young. She's not a kid, but I'm saying she's not Aretha fucking Franklin who's doing this for 70 years, you know what I mean? This is kind of, on the crest of her career. She's still on the way up. I'm just saying there's contributing factors.
Well, if he couldn't get it beforehand and his guy sent it when he was in the air, then I got to cut the guy some slack. Why do they suspend him, though?
I don't know.
On their side.
Well, and that's the thing. If he's sitting in the interview and he still doesn't know he's been sent a link, he's not even going to give that as an excuse. He'll go, no, I haven't heard the album. I heard the song that's out. He wouldn't even know.
Can you do an Adele?
I don't know.
Okay, that's
I don't know. I haven't heard her in a long time.
Now, what he needed to do, he really dropped the ball journalistically because he didn't bullshit.
Yeah.
See, you be Adele, I'll be interviewing you. I love your music.
Oh, thank you. What'd you think of the new album?
Man, still got that new album smell, man. Love that.
You old bloke.
I can't pick a favorite. That's I have children. What do I do? Pick one that I like more than the next?
That's really sweet. Which one spoke to you more? I sang a lot about hardship, heartbreak and relationship.
That one, it seemed like you were talking about either an old boyfriend or a cat. I couldn't tell. It's like a metaphor. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jimmy,
but that's
sweet.
the one I like.
I like that one too. I like you. I like you.
Pathos, pouring it out.
Always pathos.
And God, what was cut number 5?
Oh, that was
I got it written down here somewhere. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying. I'm going to start crying.
You're too sweet.
Cut 5, I think, to me, said it all.
Did it?
It really said it all.
That's the one, eh?
Because it was like Adele, but there's so much more to you than just what people know. And by the way, that's why I want to do this interview.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so much more depth, you know. Obviously the looks, everyone responds to that.
Well,
the angelic voice,
thank you.
incredible hair, meaningless tattoo.
Really?
Everyone
Wait, what about my tattoo?
I said I'm pretty sure I used the word breathtaking before tattoo, but
you
have that tattoo on your forearm.
Oh, you love it? I love it too.
Yeah, I think I would love it more if I knew what the heck it was.
You know, tattoos are personal. It's really just for me to know. Me and my loved ones. Yeah, not really for you.
Yeah, I told a lot of people I was doing this interview, and most of them want to know what the tattoo was.
They have to buy the album and find the hint in there.
Listen, if you're listening to this, you buy that album, you listen to Cut 3, because that is the most meaningful.
Cut 5, you said.
That was the one about the cat, I think.
Oh.
Cut 3, as I was saying. Oh my God, I'm going to plot. It's like I'm back on that airplane, just listening to it over and over and over. Oh, you know what it was? I know what I did, Adele. I took Cut 2, which I love.
Yeah.
And Cut 3, which I love as well. And I think I may have added those 2 numbers and said Cut 5, which I love even more.
Oh, that makes
than
perfect
Cut
sense.
2 and Cut 3.
I like you. We should go out for a pint, you and
by
me.
the time we got to Cut 17, I was like, I was a heap of tears on that
There's
flight.
only 11 cuts on the album. Maybe,
I knew it was an odd number.
Yeah.
I knew it was an odd number.
Perhaps it started
I think I did the repeat.
Yeah.
I don't do shuffle. I do not do shuffle.
No shuffle on my albums.
No
I got
shuffling.
Spotify to agree to that.
I don't want to shuffle off the bubble if I do shuffle on your thing. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
what's the tattoo mean?
You know what? Maybe it'll be revealed in my next album.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of my listeners would like to know what it is, on this album.
Next album.
Just... maybe some hints I could guess. To me, It looks like
I'll give. Yeah.
it looks like a monkey fucking a football.
Close.
I know it can't be it, but
you know that is what it is. And by football, of course, you mean as you call it, soccer ball.
well, it's football. It's American
Right.
football. It's kind of the
But
real sport.
that is what it is. It symbolizes something very personal for me. But yeah, it is a monkey fucking football.
Oh, well, there you go.
You're
See,
very
I'm
good.
sorry.
Yeah. No,
Someone
you
tweeted me that, so I can't take credit.
Hit it right
but,
on the head.
Anyway, cut 7. All the way through cut 13. It was
just the
like it was
11.
magical.
Just the 11
magical
cuts.
stuff.
But yeah,
I listened
thank you.
to it over and over and over again.
You and I should go out for some clotted cream. I like you.
Well, don't put it in the mac and cheese, sweetie.
Oh, it's a fine callback.
And scene. See how he could have done that? Flawless.
It was 29 minutes in real time.
That was a flawless interview.
I will be sure to leave Adele off of my list of impressions. I've never tried that before.
She's pretty cockney.
She's a citizen of
I
the
tried.
world.
Thank you.
Why is she so cockney?
The town she's from.
I know, but I don't
Sounds
know. Like most of the time, I think a little more Elton John or something, like a little more something sophisticated.
I don't
or
know anything
something.
about Adele's background, but to my ear, she has a little bit of northern, sort of Mancunian accent, kind of like
That's
Oasis,
correct.
or maybe. Really? Wait, hold on.
What?
Chris said something.
Brian is correct. She's
Yes!
North London.
North London.
Yeah,
Wow.
no Cockney.
Does she? Is it what? Not cockney.
No.
Does
not
she
Cockney.
play it up
She's
a
from
little bit?
Tottenham.
I think she kind of does the brassy regular girl.
Well, yeah,
or maybe
think of
that's
like-
just with Oprah.
But think of like, a country star. You know, they
Yeah.
might have a little more twang when they're interviewing. Or,
yeah.
That's a good point.
Anyway, what is that tattoo?
I have no fucking idea.
Someone know what that tattoo
I don't
is?
even know what you're talking about. Can we see a picture of
It's
it?
on her right forearm. It looks like something from the sea.
Right.
I don't
It
know.
looks
It's like
like
an anemone or
like
a
a-
shell or something.
I think it's supposed to be a mountain range.
a mountain range.
But when it's that small, it doesn't. It looks like a tortoise shell.
Yeah. You know, people get
It's an EKG readout.
people
Yeah.
get nonsensical tattoos, and they always tell you it's to remind them
Yeah.
of something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like to breathe or something, and I'm like, wow. Your doctor's not going to be happy that you need an actual tattoo to remember to breathe.
Yeah, a lot on your
Pulmonologist.
mind.
It reminds them of something. It keeps them. But what they never really explain is the downside is it confuses the fuck out of everyone else.
It
You know what I
bumps
mean?
them.
You get up there, you get some tribal shit or your mom's name or something, or the ship you were on in the Navy. We have a context
We
there.
get
But
it.
the mountain range, is it a mountain? What's
It
it
says
look like?
Adele fan identifies secret mountain range
That's
tattoo.
Saturn.
Oh no, sorry. How many tattoos does she have? I'm looking at a different one on her forearm.
Oh,
that-
it's Saturn.
That is some version of,
Yeah,
or
it is
Baby
Saturn.
Yoda.
She has a lot of tattoos on her arms.
She does?
I mean, I'm looking at 3 different ones right here.
Wow. Yeah, the only one I can see when she's singing is Saturn on the arm.
Yeah, that's Saturn.
All right. Let me tell you about Tommy John. This Black Friday, celebrate softness season by stocking up on Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas. Shop their Black Friday sale right now. Give the gift of comfort to everyone on your list, including yourself. Over 16 million pairs sold. Give the gift of Tommy John, and it's become a holiday tradition for a lot of families across the country. I'm wearing mine right now. You would be a fool to leave your home without your Tommy Johns on. And they don't have customers, they have fanatics. Once you get into that, you do not go back to what you're formerly wearing. And not only is it the underwear, but the T-shirts are great. The loungewear is great. Bras as well. Men and women underwear. Best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free. Guaranteed, right, Dawson?
During Tommy John's Black Friday sale, get 20% off site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Adam. Get 20% off for a limited time only at TommyJohn.com/Adam. Go right now to TommyJohn.com/Adam. See site for details.
All right, comedian Pete Lee's going to join us soon. We got a Rotten Tomatoes game, and we'll do that right after this.
All right. Well, whether you're planning on enjoying turkey, goose, duck, chicken, or some freakish Frankenstein combination of any of those on Thanksgiving, everyone loves to gobble down some good cooked bird. We're just a couple days away now, so this Rotten Tomatoes game is going to be extra foul. Get it?
Yep.
You guys like that?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
we
far,
love
so
it.
good.
Vandal upon there. Good job. Let's talk bird movies.
Bird movies.
Given all the recent headlines, we have to begin by discussing a movie that was previously the most infamous movie to have a behind-the-scenes death during filming. Getting into the plot, the film opens with a tragic death of its own and jumps forward a year later when a crow taps on the dead man's gravestone, bringing him back to life and leading him from one killer to the next until his own death has been avenged. Brandon Lee stars in 1994's The Crow.
So he died during the filming of this, but maybe toward the end, and they had like a double finish some of the stuff on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't tell you. He obviously was in most of the movie.
I saw it in Pasadena. It was a very pivotal time. I was like kind of half in show business at K-Rock, not making any money, so still living my old lifestyle at the house with Ralph and Cortland and La Crescenta and going to see like the matinee in Pasadena. He said it was 95, did you say? 94?
1994.
94, yeah. So that was right about right as I was getting into show business. So I remember where I saw it. It was like, it was a pretty good movie, pretty serviceable. The poster kind of let you know what it was. I gotta
Guy walking through a doorway?
Yeah. You got it from watching the spots and the commercials. Like it was what it was. But
does the behind the scenes story give it a bump?
I gotta believe you gotta give a few points.
I never saw this.
Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's, it was his son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce Lee was iconic. I gotta give a few points there.
Okay.
All right. You just couldn't be cruel to this movie. For you guys in?
Yep.
For that reason, 77.
A little lower at 68.
63.
The Crow is certified fresh at 83%.
Damn it.
People had it at 90. Yeah, so maybe it got a little the Brandon past bump.
Next up, we have a cult classic about a walking, talking intergalactic duck.
My favorite.
I saw this many times as a child.
Multiple times.
Beamed to Cleveland to help stop an alien invasion. The 80s rock-infused visual effects comedy stars Leah Thompson, Tim Robbins, and Jeffrey Jones, based on a Marvel comic book.
Oh.
And executive produced by George Lucas from 1986, Howard the Duck.
Did you see this? Because Brian and I both saw this as very small children.
I saw it. There was no weirder
Play duck.
era. There's no weirder era than 80s depiction of 80s girls rock band.
Yes.
That
Leah
they would
Thompson
do in the
was foxy
80s.
in this movie, too.
But it was just, that was considered the height of sexiness. The girl band, probably driven by the Go-Go's and the Bangles and all
Her hair
that
was
kind
crimped.
of stuff. Right, crimped.
Buddy, I fell in love with Leah Thompson in this movie. I was like 7.
Wasn't she trying to? Well, there was some bestiality in here. Remember?
She did
They were cozy.
like him.
Yeah, she was into him.
Cozy.
Poor Leah Thompson betwing trying to fuck her son and Back to the Future and fuck a duck.
Sexual dysfunction.
All right, this was I know
Masterpiece.
you have warm thoughts about it, but it was not well received.
George Lucas really backs some stinkers sometimes.
This, of course, was a huge bomb. I've seen it semi-recently. It's not that bad.
You've seen it in the last 30 years?
Parts. And honestly, I mean, it's not good, but it's not like the worst movie ever. It's like, I can see what they're going for.
And these days, Howard the Duck would have been voiced by someone famous. This was just some
dude.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Actually, look it up. Watch it be someone really famous.
You made me a little nervous with your faint praise.
No, but at the time, I'm sure it was
praise?
killed at the time.
I said it wasn't that bad. But I got to believe critics would have to, turn in their credentials if they didn't give it a low score. I gave it 17%.
A little higher at 21.
A little higher at 37.
Howard the Duck is rotten at 14%.
I am so out.
Dang.
Our next film stars Jim Carrey as a successful real estate developer whose life changes dramatically when he's gifted a penguin from his late father. Soon, 5 more penguins move into his posh Park Avenue apartment, and the man's once cold heart begins to thaw. Co-starring Carla Gugino and Angela Lansbury.
What?
And directed by Mark Waters of Mean Girls fame. From 2011, Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Oh my God.
This is such a weird one for Jim Carrey. I was just watching the whole making of the doc of the making of the Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
And all that.
Andy and me.
Andy Warhol. Yeah, Andy Kaufman and me and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like,
Randy and Jim, whatever it was called.
this guy's such an artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What, doing the Penguin movie. And this isn't, well, he was young, he was looking for a paycheck or whatever. This is 2011. This is, he's been around a little bit. Like,
Was there a
he's an
cause
artist.
he was desperate to donate this to or something?
I mean, I know it's just a pure money grab, but this is a weird one for him. All right. Anyway, likable.
We all saw it.
Everyone likes penguins.
Indeed.
So
I hope that's one of the reviews.
I mean, how do you go under 50% with Jim Carrey starring in a movie?
Do you punish him for being in this movie? Punitive.
2011, his star had fallen quite a bit by this point. I mean, what was the last big beloved movie he was in?
I don't know.
I don't know the years of anything.
All right. But everyone loves penguins.
Oh my God, I love that you keep coming back to that.
All right. I'm in. You guys in?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
23.
Ooh, actually went higher, 41.
48.
Mr. Popper's Penguins is rotten at 47.
Finally, I needed that so bad.
Yeah, I should have listened to my 50.
Everyone loves penguins.
Everybody loves
Everyone
penguins.
loves penguins.
Next up, the blokes behind those Wallace and Gromit stop-motion claymation films wrote and produced this family film about an American rooster who falls in love with a gorgeous hen on a British farm. When the evil farmer forms a get-rich-quick scheme to make chicken pot pies, the birds attempt their own great escape.
Yeah.
The vocal cast is led by Mel Gibson, and it's from the year 2000. Chicken Run.
Okay.
I love this movie.
Of course you do.
And it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, by the way. They have to make a whole chicken pie-making contraption. It takes months.
All right. The critics like this kind of stuff.
It's British.
Yes. I did not see it.
It's very fun.
Wait, what year was it?
2000?
Was this before or after Sugar Tits and Jews are horrible?
Well,
Okay.
before. So we're not going to shave any Mel Gibson points off here for affairs outside of the studio.
Right.
So now, did you see it, Gina?
No.
Brian?
Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
Okay.
I really do.
I don't know.
Don't listen to him.
I genuinely like this movie.
Well, I do feel like kids' movies or animated or claymated, it was a stop action
It's the claymation stop action. I will say, not a kids' movie. The humor's aimed at adults.
They have to be better than movies where you can look at the actor or the actress. They're just generally better. The scripts are generally.
I think there's something to that.
It's my Pixar thing. Those Pixar scripts are so goddamn good.
Yeah.
They're tight.
They just have to be, because otherwise you're just looking at Kate Hudson wearing yoga pants going, well, we don't need to write anything here.
Right.
She's doing yoga. All right, let's see. This could separate the men from the boys. I'm going high at 81.
Oh, shit. A little higher, 88.
Are you guys serious?
It's a good movie.
Ah, shit. 68.
No.
Chicken Run.
Just watch it with the boy.
Okay.
Certified fresh.
Yeah.
97%.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Audience has it at 65.
I think a lot of parents took their kids to see it, and it's kids would be bored.
Yeah, maybe is there a little PETA theme here going? I don't mean PETA, but I just mean a critics-like kind animal. They're like, victorious animal.
And you're supposed to love Wallace and Gromit.
And
that's like very trendy.
Yeah,
to
don't
love.
read too much into it, Adam, with the audience score. Like this is British kind of highbrow, like animation aimed at adults. And I think a lot of people took their kids and were like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, okay. All right.
Finally, we have this sci-fi thriller about an evil force that kills anything that looks at it. As a result, a mother and her kids must take their journey, make their journey to safety, completely blindfolded, and only aided by a box full of birds that warn them of impending danger. Released exclusively on Netflix back when that was a novelty. And starring Sandra Bullock from 2018, Bird Box.
I believe Brian said this is a movie for people who don't watch movies.
Yeah, this is a movie for people who don't enjoy movies.
What does the
was
birds in the
fine.
box have to
Or
do?
the canary in the coal mine.
Mm-hmm.
If
Like-
they die or something, then
Or if they
danger's
chirp,
afoot.
put your mask on. It was okay. I liked it. You
It
watched
was, it was a genuine phenomenon. People would not. Didn't Chrissy Teigen tweeted about this? Like,
Maybe.
it scared the crap out of me, and then it became a phenomenon.
Well, and
Fuck Chrissy Teigen.
I think people have like a very visceral reaction to like when you can't see stuff. I think the theme that they had to wear blindfolds and get around was a big deal. Kind of like Quiet Place. You can't speak. Like that gets people going.
It's a sweet movie. Too.
I watched the second one on the plane.
I think Chris Morgan from Fast and Furious, this is his thing. This is his film.
He produced it.
And
Good
I
for him.
remember
He
being
made a lot
with
of money.
him, and he's like, I got to go talk to Sandra Bullock. I got to go talk her into doing this little itty bitty thing we're doing.
It's huge.
Well, it's huge now.
Right.
It probably cost $8 million.
It probably didn't sound like that much to Sandra Bullock
Right.
at the time, but I remember he said, I got to go meet with her and I got to like talk her into doing this film, and then it turned into this. All right, so
A genuine phenomenon. People wouldn't stop talking about this.
But I don't think this was schlock. I think this was like a good, decent movie. But to Brian's standards, it just didn't make the cut.
well, I haven't seen it. I'm a supportive friend. So I haven't
me?
seen it. Yeah. And sometimes there's a backlash. Sometimes critics see it then go, "Oh, come on, it's not that
After
good."
the
Like
hype.
it's after the hype. But they like Sandra Bullock, strong mom, like
She was great.
good theme, right?
She was in it.
And Brian didn't like it, but Gina
I liked it.
did.
And I think it became, to your point, Adam, I think it became a phenomenon after it was released for a week or two. Because I think the reviews were in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. I think Brian and I may be pretty close to one another.
I think you're right.
I have no good idea if there's going to be a little critic. So like, I didn't like it, a little contrarian critic thing when everyone else is going down a road and you're going to zig when they zag. I will say 78.
I'm close to you. 68.
83.
Really?
I don't know. I'm already fucked. It doesn't matter.
Bird Box is fresh at 64.
All right.
Good night.
Damn
Needed
it.
that badly.
Yeah. Damn it.
Really thought people really like this.
I think they were sucked in by the hype. Because a lot of you people,
Yeah.
you obviously hear what's
That's
going
why
on.
I watched it. I wanted to see what the big deal was.
Audience at 57. What the hell?
Gina Grad,
Very
Good night.
congratulations, you made the podium.
Thank you.
92, your big score.
No.
Well played.
Thank you.
Bald Brian coming in with a 41,
Yeah,
leaving us
Thanksgiving,
the
motherfucker.
ace man who has won the last 2 times at least that we played this game.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of winning.
Oh,
Is
my.
his score enough? Bald Brian with a 41, leading us to congratulate Adam Carolla on second place, 63.
Ah.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do.
Wasn't that close after all?
I got out to a lead and then I squandered it at the end. All right, comedian Pete Lee is going to join us. We'll talk to the very funny Pete Lee right after this.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Tulare, California. A 34-year-old man was charged with theft after an audit found that he had stolen and attempted to repackage and sell 42,000 pounds of pistachios! Definitely not a Jew!
Pete Lee has joined us. Tall, Dark, and Pleasant's the name of his Showtime special, filmed at the Tempe Improv.
Yep. Yeah, I filmed it there because Arizona has been open the whole time.
Yeah, it's funny. Arizona's not, they don't get into the mix/argument of, California versus Florida or Texas versus New York. Arizona's just kind of Arizona.
Right.
They've been Arizona, and
Yeah.
they don't get either side's ire. Pete, I'm going to tell everyone who's going to Milwaukee, you're going to be at the Improv this weekend, November 26th through the 28th, and then Cleveland Hilarities, December 2nd through the 4th. Lots of dates, traveling, Pete. Living the life of a stand-up.
It's going to be crazy. I'm going home this weekend. It's going to because I'm from Wisconsin, so and right now they need a little humor.
Yeah.
And of course, I have my dumb relatives calling me up, going, "Well, are you going to do a bit about what's been going on?" And I'm like, "No,
no."
Like that's what we do in our family group chat. That's not what I do on stage. We save those jokes for the group chat.
Yeah, so you're heading into the belly of the beast. Where's your family from in Wisconsin?
They're from Janesville, Wisconsin, and they're all big fans of yours. They're big auto guys. Our hometown, we had a GM plant growing up, and so like everybody in my family worked there, and it was funny because like GM for like 20 years, they're like, the plant's closing, and everybody in my town was like, no, they're not going to do that. No, they're not going to close it down. And then they closed it, and they're like, it's going to open back up.
Oh,
and,
positive people.
Yeah, and then now there's just meth, and so that's my hometown. But so a lot of Janesville people will be traveling over to Milwaukee, or as we say it in Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Do you,
Milwaukee.
What would you guys rather have? I was just thinking about this philosophically. I have, potentially an unemployable towny type son that I gotta deal with, and in the
plant's
past,
not closing. The podcast plant's not closing down.
Yeah, but what would you rather have if you have the flunky son who's not achieving in high school? Would you like that plant in your town? Historically, they went to work at the plant.
Sure.
Then the next thing you know, they got in the automotive workers union, and the next thing you know, they're making $37 an hour and benefits and whatever. But they died at the plant.
Yeah.
They couldn't leave the plant.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because once you get to $41 an hour and overtime and benefits,
And you're 41, you're not going to get a
you're
job.
not going out. And a lot of these guys, when they close it, they go, "Hey, only thing I'm fit to do is work at McDonald's." Like, hey, you're 47. Maybe you should have thought about that. But would you rather have the plan, which does mean gainful employment, but kind of a dead end, sad, John Mellencamp song at some point? Or would you rather they just suck it up, get some job at the Jamba Juice, fucking be miserable for 2 years or whatever, but be motivated to get out? But
exactly
the motivation, we don't know where they're going. They could just be going to a bigger Jamba Juice or something.
I like the 2 years at the Jamba Juice, the grocery store, or whatever. Like, light that fire, man, because now you know what it's like to be poor and scrimping, and like, God, if I had enough money to afford a cell phone or whatever, you want to reach for that, upper in the next level.
Versus the consistency, because again, they could get a job at the plant, they get married, they buy a home, they have a kid, they're able to kind of keep the lights on.
I'm shocked at my answer to this. I think it's just life circumstances and being my age and thinking of having that kid and having go, what do you want from me? I worked at the Jamba Juice, nothing happened, so I'm moving back in. You go to the plant, you find a nice girl, and I'll be over for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. My first answer to this question is vasectomy.
Yes.
My second answer to it is, I guess I would want the Jamba Juice option, the no plant, because I grew up with friends, like my best friend, his dad drove a forklift, and his job was to drive like a pallet of stuff over here twice a day, and then he read magazines the rest of the day. He made $100 an hour as a union guy.
God bless.
Seriously.
And my best friend was kind of an asshole. He was like, "We're rich and you're poor," because my mom was a waitress at the Red Lobster in town, and I was like, I always hated him, and now that I've grown up, I've realized like you weren't rich. Your dumb dad was rich.
Like your mom was a waitress when you were growing up.
Yeah, she was a waitress. I remember one time Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, back in the height of their feud, they came in and they had dinner together.
Oh no!
And my mom she told me that, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "They're getting along." I told everybody at school that, like, I was like, "You guys don't even know they're gonna get along in the ring pretty soon, and they're gonna be tag team champions together."
I got an inside horse.
Yeah, I got it. I just didn't know that all pro wrestlers just were friends with each other outside of the fake stuff.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we couldn't afford Red Lobster, so that was a pretty fine dining restaurant in Kansas.
We were making it rain with Cheddar Bay biscuits. It was crazy.
That's your hypothetical. The thing about the plant closing down, there's always that risk. If you're listening and you have the factory job or the plant job, God bless you. I hope it goes on forever. But you're at the vagary of that company, and that company is sorry, not the vagary. You're at the mercy of that company. And that company is publicly traded. If they're not making that, if the bottom line is not what it's supposed to be, they're going to Mexico. They're going to another state. They're going to overseas. They're farming it out. Like you're always at the mercy of that company, and they'll do what's right for their bottom line.
But you get fired from that Jamba Juice, there's another one on the next corner.
Ideally, you're working your way up, but yeah, the principle's still.
I don't think we never ate at a Red Lobster. We couldn't eat at any place that had the word lobster in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'd say to my dad, "Can we go out to eat?" And he'd go, "I don't know where," and I'd go, "Red," and then he'd pause and go, "Now if you say outhouse, we're in." Or corn dog. or
does it start with der or
Tofurkey? Right, or der wiener. But if you say lobster, we're fucking out.
You're out. I remember being kind of embarrassed that my mom was a Red Lobster waitress, and they'd bring your parent to school day. It was bring your dad to school day back when I was a kid, and then they were like, all right, for Pete, he can bring his mom to school or whatever. And I remember the dude, Nate Condon's dad, was a banker. He was like the head of the bank, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I remember he brought money in. He brought like bricks of money, and all the kids were like, "Whoa! Oh my God, he's got money!" And I was like, "Mom," I was just like, "My mom's gonna bomb. Like she's just gonna suck after this." And then my mom surprised me. She had these Rubbermaid totes, and she brought in lobsters.
That's the way you do it.
She brought in lobsters, and Nate Condon's dad felt like an idiot
Live
he
lobsters?
brought in live lobsters
To give out to the kids.
Just
to
a
give out to the
show.
kids. Well, she picked them up out of the thing, and they had the rubber bands on their pinchers, but everybody got to come up and pet the lobsters. And my mom was like the hugest hero.
Your mom's the coolest marine biologist we ever met.
She cooks the animals that she catches.
Well, the good, I always think about my buddy Ray, whose mom was a cocktail waitress at the Far East Terrace, which is some Asian joint like in Toluca Lake. And my parents were losers. His parents were losers, but his mom came home with cash every night because there were no ATMs. Nobody had any cash laying around anywhere, but she had it. And she would distribute it because, first off, if your mom comes home, back then with $37 worth of tips, and the next day you go, "Can I have $3 for lunch?" They can't go, "No," or like, "I don't have." My parents were always like, "We don't have, there's no money." Good luck. But she had it. Irene had it. And she would bring it home and it'd start to pile up, and she would much more easily hand it out. It was just there. It was like some byproduct of her work. And did your mom come home with cash, and wasn't that a windfall even though she had a loser adult job?
Oh yeah, she definitely came home with cash, and like we were demanding too. Like we'd be like, "Mom," like almost like we were little mobsters. Like, "Where's my cut?"
Right?
Like, don't you know we get a 5 off of every 30 that you get? And she would give us money for a little while in my childhood, and I'm like a clean cut, nice guy. But my grandma owned a bong shop when I was growing up, so like weed's always been a part of my family. And my mom, like she just went through a little rough spell at Red Lobster. So my brother and we actually sold weed, and my brother had a Connect, and he would get it, and then I would deliver it because I was like this cute little kid on a BMX bike. And for a while, I sold it to my dentist. And I remember my mom, she was like, "Where are you guys getting this money from?" Because like our water was shut off, like our washer and dryer broke for a while, and we're like doing the laundry in the tub and stuff. And my brother and I would be like, "Here's $100." And she's like, "Where are you getting this from?" We were like, "Don't ask."
Right.
And she knew, But it was really funny. I went to the dentist because I had to get a retainer, and it was going to cost so much money. But I had been delivering drug. I want to like say his name, but I can't. I've been delivering weed to this guy forever, and then he like gave it to us for like half price. And my mom was like, "Please don't tell me how that happened." But
was your dad not around?
My dad, so my dad was, he left our family when we were 3, and I'm really close with my dad now, and he's a really great guy. He was he's a pretty successful interior designer and stuff, and then he moved out to California, and he wasn't in our life for a period of years, and then it was like in my late teen years, like we reconnected more. Like he was always in my life, but just like spotty. And then we reconnected, and like now he's one of my best friends, and like he's really like we've had long talks about, that period. And it like, how everybody goes to therapy, you just hoping that they'll get an apology from their dad. Like I got that apology. It was fantastic. And now I'm really great friends with my dad.
I know it's none of our business, but what was his reasoning for kind of leaving you guys high and dry, especially during that time?
He met a really hot lady.
Done and
He
done.
just moved out to L.A.?
Yeah, he moved out actually to like the San Francisco, like the San Jose area. And he wanted to open a collectible store. He has twin brothers. And so he opened up this place called Collectible Showcase. And it was like a real successful business. He quit interior decorating for a while just to do that. And it was kind of one of those things where he kind of had to do that for what he felt like he had to do financially. And also, now that I live here, California's kind of awesome. Like I don't blame him for leaving Wisconsin for a little while.
Did he send money back? Did he send a Christmas card every year?
$1
Yeah,
million man, postable figure.
He paid his alimony, and he would send me really cool gifts. I remember one year I got because I was a skateboarder growing up. I wound up being sponsored by Alva Skateboards and Vision Streetwear, and
wow,
I was pretty accomplished, and I competed in NSA nationals and stuff. But I remember my dad sent me he sent us Alva skateboards. So my first skateboard was an Alva.
Was it Tony Alva?
Tony Alva, yeah.
Is that a good brand?
It's a great brand, yeah. And now every once in a while I'll be in Venice and you just see Tony Alva at a coffee shop or something. I'm like, that's kind of crazy.
Do we agree Tony Hawk needs to retire? He's having too much fucking fun. The man's 50 years old. I don't even see him on a fucking half dome or half bowl or half cup or
half pipe.
Half pipe. I knew you'd save me eventually.
I got on one of my friends has he has a son, and his son was just like, can you show me how to do a kickflip? And so I'm 44, and I did a kickflip and I landed it, but just the post shock of it and rocking of my ankles, my tendons have been sore for 3 weeks. And Tony Hawk is still doing McTwists on his half pipe, and I feel bad. At least we're funny. We can do this until we're I don't know how old, but Tony Hawk is gonna have to be doing McTwists at 70. Otherwise, he's done.
I wish he'd knock it off because it makes me feel old. I don't know. He's a really nice guy, by the way, if anyone's spent any time with Tony Hawk. But he entered himself in the X Games, I think.
This year?
I was watching something, maybe Chris can find it, the X Games. There was a 12-year-old from parts unknown, God, the guy was Brazilian or Yugoslavian or some
weird
country, some weird, if we knew where you were, we'd bomb you country, but you're lucky we can't find you on the map.
He's Brazilian.
On the globe. Brazilian guy.
Yeah.
And he's 12, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And did he do a 980? Was that Tony's big move?
Tony's was a 900.
A 900.
A 900. He did a 900.
Well, no, then the kid did a 1080.
Oh, the kid did a 1080.
Yeah, Tony doing a 900 was huge.
Well, Tony Hawk is 6'4", and that's at Tony's ramp. That's
insulting.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, he went to his house. He's like, I'm going to show you how old you are.
Fucking stuffed his face in his own ramp.
Well, he did. Yeah, it's like if Jordan had a half court in his backyard and you were just jamming on him the whole time. That's essentially what happened to Tony. But he did it in X Games. I don't know.
Yeah, that's 4 full turns, something insane.
I think it's 3.
Did he do
it's 3? So, 900's 2.5, and then this kid went and did 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
But the kid is 12, and Tony was just like, I'm going to enter
1, 2, 3.
That is insane.
Yes, it's insane. In a weird way, you go, well, he's only 12, but it's like, you may only be able to do that if you're 5'2".
Yeah, imagine a child being really good at a child's game.
That guy kicks ass at Connect 4 and skateboarding and slip and slide. Nobody's better. Yeah, so I think Tony just did it to be the oldest.
Sure.
Yeah.
I buy it.
Jimmy and I did one of the first X Games as we were
skateboarders?
Yep. Freestyle wakeboard. No, we were the MC at the first, maybe in San Francisco in 2000 or something, very early, back when they had street luge.
Sweet. Like down Lombard.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You just lay down on a skateboard
With the hills,
and
of
go
course.
for it. Yeah.
Did you guys give it a try?
No,
For a
I remember we hung out like at on the main stage. They weren't that sorted, you know. It was
Yeah.
kind of the early. I don't know how long the X Games had been around, but it couldn't have been more than a year or two before we got.
I feel like it was
we got
Fisherman's
there.
Wharf, like
That's
the
a
Embarcadero or
that's a
something.
trio
my
right there.
God, there's
Wow.
a picture of me, Jimmy, and Andy Dick on stage at X Games 2, or I don't know. It was San Francisco.
Look at Jimmy. He definitely knew that he was going to be on camera from the waist up because he's wearing sweatpants and a nice button-up shirt. He's basically like that. He pioneered the Zoom call.
Yeah.
I forgot Andy Dick was there too. He, I think after the show, he punched Jimmy and tried to fuck me. I can't remember.
That adds up.
Whatever. Andy,
Right.
he does. I got to punch one and try to fuck
He did
the
the
other.
Mary fuck kill in real time.
Yeah, I can't
So
remember
the same guy.
which one of us he punched and which one he tried to fuck. But that seems to be the theme for Andy these days. But yes, there we were. What do you remember? What year does it say? What year
It
that
doesn't
was?
say what year.
Had to be 2000, 2001. It was very romantic. We went there. We hosted, and then we seemed to have the weekend in San Francisco.
It would have been the Man Show's run, so 2000 or 2001, because Jimmy did the talk show too.
Yeah, makes sense. And then we had a magical day. Like I was like, let me show you my Golden Gate Bridge, and we rented a convertible Mustang, and we drove over the bridge, and it was a very romantic weekend.
like it.
I don't think he had been to San Francisco.
Kept driving north to wine country.
Yeah,
engaged.
The whole time Jimmy was like, when is he going to propose? Like, when's it going to happen?
Yeah, I forgot the Andy Dick part of it. And there was a guy named Lugenstein who was the street luge guy.
Well, he's made for it.
That was the best event because when they biffed, they had, like on these corners they had all these hay bales lined up, and it was like they knew that for TV's sake, if they just packed them real loose, it'd be better.
Right,
They fly.
Big pop,
It was
yeah.
just a huge explosion. Just like, I don't know. Nowadays they couldn't do that because some kid would be allergic to hay and he'd have to take a Zyrtec. They'd have to like hit him with a Zyrtec pen.
They did and they also like any competition that's based on gravity and whoever tries to slow down loses always makes for fun. Like that's why the lumberjack competition's great because if they were not cruel, they'd have the pole climb and you just ring the bell at the top of
And
the
then
pole.
you just slowly make your way
Right.
down.
But it's up and down.
Yeah.
So the guy who's a second and a half behind, he just free falls it for 80 feet. He's
Yeah.
like, I got to make up some time in the air.
Breaks
and
a
they
knee.
literally just jumps off the top of the fucking pole. They really should just make it to the top and have everyone have safe travels back down to the bottom.
Yeah, it's like putting the ball on the 35-yard line for NFL so they don't return kickoffs. Like, we need to make that sport safer.
Yeah, I agree. I want more contact. The Hall of Fame, the Man Show inductee in the Hall of Fame, I'm looking at my screen, but it looks a little confusing to me. I was trying to think of who.
Oh.
Was it Frank Show? Who's Frank Show? Did we?
Gifford, sorry. I was seeing Man Show. I think that's what.
Frank Gifford got brought into the Hall of Fame. All right, that's why I was saying confusing.
Did he get brought in there because of all of his extracurricular activities?
I don't.
That's exactly right.
Well, he was a great football player.
Scott Baio got inducted into the Man Show Hall of Fame. Andre the Giant got inducted into the Man Show Hall of
For
Fame.
obvious reasons.
And Frank Gifford got inducted into the Man Show Hall
quite
of
a
Fame.
trinity.
Well, see if you can find Frank Gifford. I'm curious why I'm sure it wasn't for his football prowess. If I know us,
Yeah.
I would say. And I think Jimmy did all those inductions because there's too many cue cards for me to read.
All those inductions to nobody because they didn't come.
No, yeah, no one ever accepted that. Andy Dick did show up no, we never inducted him. So
Worthy inductee.
Pete, it is true if you really look at that guy's resume. So from absentee father to washing clothes in a tub
Yeah.
to the heights of comedy.
The heights of comedy, yeah. It's interesting. Like, I get to take my girlfriend Nicole back home, and she just she had no idea about Wisconsin. Just like we basically drink.
Where's she from?
She grew up in Anchorage, Alaska, but then she moved to Portland, and then she
down south.
Yeah, then she lives in Arizona, and so she's kind of lived like the West Coast life. And so we went to this restaurant, and she didn't know that we basically drink till we black out and we eat till we hiccup, and that's every night and every meal. And we got to this restaurant. And then we went to the second restaurant because, of course, we go meet people and we eat a meal, and then we go eat another meal. And she was like, "Hey, I'm noticing a trend." She goes, "Every single restaurant, right when you walk in, on the wall, there's a defibrillator." And I was like, "Well, yeah." She's like, "That's not normal." She's like, "Other places don't have defibrillators on the wall." And I was like, "I guess I had never even noticed that before." She's like, "You guys are really unhealthy." Like, it's crazy. Like, she's not used to seeing really big people. Like we were just in this gas station, and there's this lady that literally has the ass of a rhinoceros. Like, it's a rhinoceros in sweatpants, and Nicole's going, "Pete, oh my God." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's just normal." That's
when you travel through the Midwest, you don't, there's fat people, but I see big dudes when I'm 6'2", so it's not everyone I meet is taller than me. We do some of those meet and greets, big baseball mitt hands, like just
a lot of mass.
Some of them got a couple extra pounds on them, but they're mostly just, well, you tell them they're fat.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. Like, there's some just big dudes in that neck of the woods.
I sell merch after the shows, and there's always that moment where the big dude comes up and he's like, what size do you think I am? And I'm like, I'm not answering this question.
Right.
Like, I don't know what your emotions are or how hungry you are. Like, I don't know if you're going to eat me. Like, just gulp me up like a snake. I don't know.
You got Frank Gifford getting inducted into the Man Show Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's long, so you can call your own name.
All right.
On these walls hang some of the worst sculptures of some of the greatest men in history. Men like Andre the Giant and Scott Baio. This is the Man Show Hall of Fame. Tonight, we honor one of the great football players of all time. His gridiron career began in 1948 as a standout halfback for his hometown Trojans of USC. In 1952, he went pro, a first-round draft pick for the New York Giants, and he became one of America's most beloved athletes and broadcasters. His name is Frank Gifford. They called him Giff because his last name was Gifford, and Giff was shorter. But tonight we honor Giff not for his accomplishments on the field, but for his selflessness off it. In 1986, Frank Gifford married this woman so that none of us would ever have to.
Kathy Lee.
At first glance, 19-year-old Kathy Lee Epstein was perfect, a personable young beauty queen from Maryland. She nicknamed her hubby Lamb Chop after the lovable puppet made famous by Sherry Lewis. But cutesy nicknames couldn't hide the ominous truth. In time, Kathy Lee Gifford would prove to be more evil than Satan, Saddam Hussein, and Sherry Lewis combined. Horrifying. Truly horrifying. For Frank Gifford, life with Kathy Lee was more harrowing than any prisoner of war could ever imagine. The Christmas specials, the infomercials, the constant pimping of his kids would quite possibly kill a mortal man. But Giff kept his spirits up, and his penis up too. In 1997, tabloid newspapers caught him banging the bejesus out of Susan Johnson, a bleached blonde flight attendant less than half his age. The women of America were outraged. How could he betray his beautiful wife? They couldn't believe it. The men of America couldn't believe he asked her for anal sex the first time out. Score one for the Giffer. Kathy Lee lashed out like a wolverine caught in a bear trap during its period. But eventually she quieted, and she stopped talking about how perfect her marriage was, and she stopped making those sickening family Christmas specials, and she even left her repulsive talk show. So what have we learned from this football hero, this broadcasting great, this anal sex aficionado known as Giff? Well, I know what I've learned. I've learned when the little lady gets a lot out of control, you nail a stewardess in the butt.
Feels like more about Kathy Lee.
Frank Gifford, we are proud to induct you into the Man Show Hall of Fame.
Who did these busts?
We had a shop.
Oh, it's Dick Van Patten?
Oh, he would accept on behalf of Frank Gifford.
That's so funny.
Wow. This is something. You know, back when I played America's favorite TV father on 8 Is Enough, I never thought that someday I would be lucky enough to appear on a crappy cable show accepting an award for someone I've never met.
Inspired.
This is quite an honor. On behalf of the entire Gifford family, thank you.
That's a great bit.
I forgot. I
Whose
forgot
idea was it to reach out to Dick Van Patten?
Dick Van Patten. He was
Standing out.
He was local.
Uh-huh.
His dance card wasn't really full at that point
He
in
was
his
willing,
career.
sure.
And Dick Van Patten was a little bit of a punchline back then. But I forgot Dick accepted.
That's great.
I guess we would have gotten everyone. Now you got to scrub through Scott Baio, but did we always get people to accept? Did Dick Van Patten accept for Scott Baio? But yeah, that was a plan. And so the Man Show had an art department. Because we'd have to come up with manovations,
Right.
and like I'd go in there because I was kind of the carpenter of the group, and I'd go, that doesn't even look like a belly Zamboni. You understand? It has to work. It's got to clean my belly off.
Standards.
You just give me. It's got to look like a Zamboni, but it's got to work. It's got to stay on my. I'm going to take my shirt off, and then it's got to mop me up. Like I'm refinishing my belly. It's called the belly Zamboni. And it's so
should be ashamed of yourself.
They'd show because we'd come up with all these stupid gags, and they'd be in there like physically making the stuff all the time, and they were good, but sometimes the stuff didn't work like we wanted it to work. Or the manovations was always like the stuff would have to explode or have to do this or have to do that. And I'd always walk across the lot, and they'd be all the kind of nerdy carpentry guys being there like buzzing away with their Dremels and casting Frank Gifford's head and stuff like that.
In bronze.
That's so funny that a grown adult person was like, wait, we're doing what? I'm going to make a belly Zamboni? Okay. Clock in, clock out.
Yeah, it was an interesting time, but I can't even remember all the manovations. Anyway, one day we'll dig up those manovations. Did Dick Van Patten, did he accept for Scott Baio as well?
No, you accepted for Scott Baio.
Oh,
I did.
Yes, and then
It was early in the show's run.
and for Andre the Giant, Andre the Midget accepted for a minute. It's a little person that walks out. You can only see the top part of his head when he behind the podium.
They didn't get him some dog stairs?
No.
To walk up.
Yeah, so I accepted for Scott.
Yes.
Okay. I had some recollection I know Jimmy did all the heavy lifting on the Man Show Hall of Fame, but I was like, I think I talked on one of those, but maybe that was it. All right, let me tell you guys about BlueNile.com. Last minute gifting. Celebrate the holidays with some fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. You'll find exactly what she wants. She'll treasure it forever. I went to Blue Nile. I got Natalia some beautiful, beautiful stuff. They have a great selection. And by the way, lots of times you go onto a website, stuff looks pretty good on the website, then it shows up at your house, and it doesn't quite look like what it looked like on the website. No. With Blue Nile, even better. You pick from a vast selection of preset diamond and gemstone jewelry ready to ship on the same day. Beautiful. beautiful keepsake, beautiful memory, and she will love it. Guaranteed service and repair for life, 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop stress-free with guaranteed free shipping and a 30-day return policy at BlueNile.com. Right, Dawson?
Make the season shine with jewelry from BlueNile.com. Shop this week and take advantage of the Black Friday sale with select jewelry up to 50% off. Plus, now through Christmas, enjoy free 2-day shipping. And as always, every Blue Nile order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today.
All right, we'll take a quick break, come back and do the news with Pete Lee and Bald and Gina right after this.
Well, the New York State Assembly has reached a conclusion in their 8-month investigation of the former governor, Andrew Cuomo's sexual harassment allegations. And they say there's overwhelming evidence that Andrew Cuomo engaged in sexual harassment while he was governor of New York. It was a 46-page report. It was released Monday, focused on accusations by 12 women. Investigators talked to more than 200 witnesses, reviewed 600,000 pages of documents. The report also accuses Cuomo of using government staff to compose his memoir, using campaign funds to cover up the number of nursing home COVID-19 deaths in the early pandemic. Cuomo's lawyer denies the allegation and calls the report a rehash of a one-sided, biased investigation.
I do love when they go, "You're just bringing up shit I did 9 months ago."
Right.
So what else is new?
Moving on.
Yeah, it is kind of what we do.
But it is
That's how
refreshing.
investigations work.
It takes 8 months.
We don't do them. We don't have the investigation before you do it. You have to do something. Then a few months pass,
fallout.
and then the investigation. That's how this works.
That's right. It's refreshing in a way, though,
But
that
if you guys want to live in the past,
that's up to you.
this whole OJ trial is about some shit that went down 17 months ago. Give me a
Forgot
break.
about it.
It's not political
Turn
in that
the page,
respect.
dude.
It's general
We're
attorney.
living in the past. All right, go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
State Attorney General Letitia James is Democrat, and the Assembly is controlled by Democrats. So you can't. That's kind of refreshing.
I do. Well, first off, they had to. Like, I always bring this up. It's always sad, but it's very true. Like when they show the picture of the woman he was accused of, like his assistant, when she's hot, you go,
You can see.
yeah, I see him making that move on her. Also,
She's harassable.
who amongst us? Like, I'm not a Cuomo fan. I think it's funny that everyone was Cuomo-sexual and he was a toast of the town. Like, what did we elevate him to this status for? But there's that part where it's like he got people in his staff to do X, Y, and Z. Who amongst us who we didn't have 15, 20 people working on and go, just go pick up my dry cleaning, like it's not official.
Right.
I've worked on books. I've farmed out a few tasks. Like, I was paying them, but yeah, I get it. But I bet if you took any politician and you used your staff to blah, 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 take your dog to the groomer, and that's not official.
Right.
They were on the clock. They weren't being like. Every politician would have just reams of that, right?
But also, isn't the difference between you and them is that the public isn't paying for this?
That's true. Yeah. No, I pay Mike Lynch. But
That's right.
Yeah. He's had a little. But I'm trying to think of. Cuomo and Michael Avenatti were the two biggest stars 18 months ago. They were the two
toast of the town.
The View couldn't figure out, it was like, which one do we blow first and which one do we fuck first? Avenatti or Cuomo? It was like a big debate.
Yeah.
All right. So we shouldn't be going to them for advice.
I feel like when they throw in the thing about the staff doing work, that's kind of like if you cheated on your wife with her sister, and you kick dogs or something like that, and then your wife is bitching about that, and then she's like, and you don't pick up your socks. It's like, you don't even need to throw that one in there. The other ones are major enough.
Right.
It's also, it was pretty weird that he wrote a book about how he was the hero in the handling of COVID.
In the middle of COVID.
In the middle of COVID. And his state was ranked number 41st out of 50 or whatever. It's a weird book to write when you didn't do that well.
Yep.
There's a bunch of nursing home people who died. A lot of people think you botched that, and we're still in the middle of it.
He looks like a fool because of bad timing, but he looks like a genius because I'm sure he made the most amount of money he could.
I think he made $5 million on that
It's a good payday.
book.
Yeah, he was like, let's make money before I get taken down. He was doing everything to be taken down.
But it was like a coach writing a book on how I won the Super Bowl at halftime.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know how this book's going to... You got to win the game first. But anyway.
Yeah.
I just wish that now that he's in trouble, he'd still go on his brother's show, and then they could do that banter back and forth. You know, so that he can be like, oh, Chris, you know, you look pretty tan from that vacation. Oh yeah, you know how you were banging everyone? That's what I want to hear.
Well, CNN stepped in, didn't they, and said, "Oh, it would be a conflict of interest."
Right. Now it would.
Yeah.
Right.
Kevin Spacey. Haven't talked about him in a while. Let's do that. So Kevin Spacey has been ordered to pay $31 million to the production company behind House of Cards. That's the Netflix series he starred in for 5 seasons, was fired in 2017. So according to the Wrap, the arbitrator's ruling was made in last October, but was revealed on Monday after an appeal by Spacey was denied. So this is happening. Why is this happening? So in its filing, Media Rights Capital said that in October, an arbitrator found that the actor had repeatedly breached his contractual obligations while starring in the show, and that his behavior rendered him and his affiliated entities liable for millions of dollars lost by the production company. So basically, because you got yourself in all this hot water, we lost a shit ton of money.
Does he have $31 million?
That's a good question.
He's a producer on the show.
He was awarded MRC, the Media Rights Capital, was awarded $29.5 million in damages and $1.4 million in attorney's fees.
We're getting a little, it's called acting.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, how much of their private, I get it if they're accused of killing somebody, and I know he's been accused of a bunch of stuff, but is anything really stuck?
Well, I think their argument is, doesn't matter. You ruined our show. We had to take you off of it, and we lost money because of it.
Netflix pulled the plug.
Yeah, because of your, not even like legal problems, like whether it happened or not, you were such a distraction that it cost us money. So, I don't know.
I'm going back to acting. It's an acting job. You act like this character, whatever you've done in your private life, whatever we find. I mean, I think it used to be if we found out you were gay, we didn't want you playing the leading man. But again, it's acting. Now, if we find out
you're not gay,
you're not gay, you are in trouble. But what's his net worth? That would be
I don't know if he has $31 million, but he does know a way to make money.
On the side?
Yeah, on the side. He could make some money up doing what he loves.
I'm seeing from various sites he's worth estimated to be $100 million.
Oh, he'll be okay. He'll land on his feet.
He'll be fine.
Somebody else is going to space, and they're from daytime.
They're from daytime.
Daytime TV?
Any guesses?
Whoopi?
No, but around,
Barbara Walters?
the same realm, sort of the hosting realm.
That would
I'll give you a guess. It's a man.
The weatherman, Roker.
Oh.
No, but you're really dancing around the answer.
If I found out Whoopi was going to outer space, I'd go down to Israel and go, those Iron Dome phalanx guns you got? You got an extra one laying around? I just put it in Cape Canaveral and not for nothing.
I'm going to switch this one. Strahan.
You want to know what I want it for? You know what? Better I don't tell you.
Yeah.
It's probably better for you.
Protect you. Sorry, what'd you say, Brian?
I said I'm going to switch this one. Strahan.
You are correct.
Wow.
He does everything.
Yeah, Michael Strahan,
everything.
He is going to space on Blue Origin's next rocket. That's in like 2.5 weeks. The Good Morning America co-host has accepted Bezos' invitation to blast off into space on the New Shepard rocket's 3rd human flight. That'll be December 9th. Strahan will be one of 6 amateur astronauts in the capsule. He'll be with Laura Shepard Churchley. She's the daughter of Alan Shepard, the first man in space, I believe.
Yeah.
The first American. Yeah. And then a father-son, I'm sure, billionaire. They're going.
The Carollas.
Wait,
That's
who's
right.
going to handle the super softball interviews while he's in outer space? Like,
there is going to be a void.
He's a fucking softballer, that guy.
It was funny, though, because I watched his getting ready and getting prepared. He's 6'5". I mean, he's not going to be comfortable in that little seat. But, they are milking this one on GMA.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. I did talk to Shatner quite a bit about it, and he was talking about what was funny, because he kept bringing it up, but he was doing it as a joke. But was I talking to you guys? He was talking about the Hindenburg. I telling you guys
no,
about this?
you are not.
All right. So I was talking to Shatner, and he's the only guy in that shuttle who was 90. Everyone else, average age like 34. And I said, what were you thinking about when you're sitting there? And he's like, I kept picturing the Hindenburg, and the Hindenburg blew up, caught on fire, the humanity and everything. It was filled with nitrogen. And the rocket was filled with nitrogen. The rocket the propulsion system is nitrogen. So he was just sitting there thinking about the Hindenburg and nitrogen, and then thinking about being propelled with nitrogen, and nobody else on that craft was having that thought. They weren't putting the Hindenburg nitrogen
No, they were going, neato
thing together.
Doesn't it make you think twice about all the signs they put at roller coasters, like don't ride if you're this, that? I'm like, okay, if we can be shot into space, like I can have a little blood pressure problem and go to Six Flags.
Listen, I don't want to put the kibosh on anything or the gypsy eye or anything, but we went from this was pretty experimental to hop in.
Yeah,
like
we have room in the back.
I seem to remember seeing a lot of Elon Musk stuff going up and then kind of coming down and blowing up and stuff and aborting and self-destruct, and there was just that we moved that far in the last 4.5 years that it's everyone's like, come on in, jump in.
Yeah, I remember Elon Musk was on Rogan, and he's like, haven't you had a lot of rockets blow up? He's like, yeah, that's what rockets do.
You're right.
They blow up.
Oh, did I say nitrogen? I meant hydrogen. Thank you for that.
We were too polite to correct
nitrogen.
you.
Yeah, hydrogen.
Most people in the Hindenburg survived.
Oh, yeah.
If it was nitrogen, wouldn't they all sound like the Lollipop Guild?
For 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, hydrogen. Okay. Sorry.
I am so thankful to Jimmy Kimmel because he is doing something fantastic again this year, and this is the one I'm excited about. Next month, classic.
He's bringing back the Ropers or something.
No, something amazing.
Oh, well, it seems like yesterday he was inducting Scott Baio into the Man Show Hall of Fame. Now
I think you're even going to be
regurgitating old sitcoms from the 80s.
You're even going to be entertained by this. So he's been doing that the past few years, those sort of live updated sitcoms.
The star power.
Oh, yeah. So, and there's some famous ones coming up. There's going to be a bundle, a twofer.
Yeah.
According to the Hollywood Reporter, it is going to be Diff'rent Strokes and The Facts of Life.
And
I'm so excited. I'll tell you who's starring in Diff'rent Strokes.
Jamie Foxx.
It is Kevin Hart as Arnold.
I had this whole conversation with Jimmy, but I was drunk, so I blocked it out.
Damon Wayans as Willis, the Todd Bridges character.
You talk about Gina.
That's exactly right. A really good casting, too. John Lithgow playing Mr. Drummond. And
isn't Damon Wayans 60?
I don't know.
I thought the character was young for some reason.
Kevin Hart is. These are not children, and you're probably familiar with her. If anyone obviously watches *Handmaid's Tale*, you'll know who I'm talking about. Playing the maid, Mrs. Garrett, Ann Dowd. You know who that is, right?
I have to look her up.
Oh, if anyone who she's the Aunt Lydia.
Yeah.
On *Handmaid's Tale*. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be fun. They haven't announced the Facts of Life cast. It is still they're working on that. But
there's some big names in there. They get huge celebrities
Who's
to do this.
Be Natalie?
I was at a party. We were talking about it, but I can't recall. I was watching Facts of Life though over the weekend. So.
Really? Which was it? One of the Molly
Season
Ringwald?
1.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Molly Ringwald.
Where she's not ice skating, roller skating everywhere.
Tootie's roller skating everywhere.
Doesn't Molly Ringwald do it too?
I think
she
did too. But in this one, Tootie had the wheels.
The lyrics very different in that.
Yes.
In that version.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear it from your brother, better clear it with your mother.
Yeah, different theme. They jazzed it up.
Song. That's right.
Season 2.
So very excited about that. That will be December 7th. And I wouldn't be opposed to sitting in the audience for that, just so you know. Okay.
Make a call.
I'm so glad you brought up lobsters earlier.
Oh, yeah.
This is very important because they're working on this. I guess the UK is out of problems. I thought they were having some COVID issues, some Brexit. That's all on the back burner, no pun intended, because a ban on boiling lobsters alive came closer yesterday after the government recognized crabs, octopus, and lobsters as sentient beings. So that is going to be illegal soon, probably.
Octopi are very smart.
I will never eat it again.
They're geniuses.
I'll never eat it again after my octopus friend, ever. And I loved it.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about a vibrator. I don't travel without my octopus friend. Like you guys are having brunch.
You know what I'm
You've
talking
had
about.
a few too many
Yeah.
mimosas.
You seen the jackrabbit,
I
you
keep
seen
my
the
octopus.
octopus
Well, no, you don't charge it. Take seashell. Yeah,
Multiple tentacles.
yeah.
Yeah, you
got to
get
start
it.
getting busy, and then I reached between the box spring and the mattress, and I pulled out.
My octopus friend.
That's right.
That's right. I think we've talked about this before, that investigation trying to find out if the calamari you get served in restaurants is actually pig anus. So I don't know if we ever got a clear answer on that.
What?
But you might have already not been eating octopus or squid.
I just had calamari.
Did you?
And it was Saturday night, and it was good. But I got to tell you, there's a ratio in the calamari, and maybe it's like the hooped kind.
Uh-huh.
Once it gets past about half an inch, it starts getting rubbery. And then the sort of meat to breading ratio gets thrown off. Now, you don't want too thin, but there's a ratio.
what
It's
you're
about
saying.
a quarter inch.
Yeah.
Maybe 5/16 for those who are listening in Canada, maybe
Sure.
7 millimeter max. But I mean, there's a certain point when you do it a little thick and it's a little rubbery and it doesn't stand up to the bread. But I will say this. A lot of restaurants doing 2 dipping sauces now with the calamari.
The
You got the
aioli.
red one and the aioli
Yeah.
one. Very nice. I always feel bad about polluting one with the other, but at some
Yeah.
point I go, fuck it, I'm paying for this. I want both.
Yeah.
I dip it in both.
When I lived in Greece for a couple months, they would hang, like when you go to rural areas, there was always octopus hanging in the doorways to dry. And that's how they would dry them out so they could serve them at the restaurants. And I was pretty like squeamish at the time. I had never had sushi, grew up in Kansas. And I got to tell you, once I got comfortable enough, and I regret it now, and I won't do it again, but pulling off the little suckers and eating them, like when they were grilled, they were delicious.
Do they throw the octopus out on the hat trick?
Yeah. The Red Wings, right?
Yeah, they do.
Is that Detroit?
What does that have to do with?
I think they do it in more than one place.
Oh, I thought it was most.
Yeah,
well,
I
maybe
think
it
it's most of the
started.
places. I think it started in Canada, and then now it's like, because like I think that the consolation was throwing the hats out for the hat trick,
Right.
because it was squid forever, and then people were like, that bothers the kids or whatever.
They just did it recently. I was watching
Wait, what are you
Sports Center.
talking? What do you mean?
If
What would that have to
one
do with
player
it?
gets
Yeah.
3 goals,
Yeah, I know what it is.
well,
So-
then naturally, you take octopi and you toss it onto the ice.
Go from there.
It's
Yeah.
just it's a tradition.
Oh.
it is what it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know where. Dawson, you have a calamari story?
Yeah, one time we were at a big family dinner with my warm Coke drinking
Nona.
Big Nana, and the calamari was overcooked. Big Nana was not happy about this. So, and I was sitting right next to Big Nana, and she said, "Michael, go get me the chef." And I said, "Okay." And I went to the kitchen. I said, "I need the chef. My Big Nana
You were
wants
at
to
a
talk to you."
restaurant?
We were at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I believe it like Scott's Seafood in Walnut Creek. Still exists. Anyway, the chef came out to talk to my Big Nana. She just got up, grabbed him by the arm, and said, "Take me to the kitchen." She cooked our table's calamari in
She
the
put
kitchen.
milk and the sauce.
She made it all.
OSHA rules against that.
Yeah, she's
Did
like,
that, did that traumatize you or impress you?
I was so impressed. Big Nana rules.
But hold on, Brian.
No, go ahead.
See, the way kids work is they're kind of rhythmic. You know?
I was about 14, so I was kind of an asshole in that asshole range myself.
She was a rebel,
and I'm
too.
like, I see Big Nana's pissed about this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help her.
Okay.
You know, and so I was proud.
Okay.
My
ahead.
mean grandma, the rare occasion we got to restaurants, if the server didn't bring over the refill of water or coffee with brunch, she'd go and get it herself. She'd get up and and of course, "Oh man, we got that for you," but she had no patience.
Yeah, no patience. That's the theme for
That's
mean
good.
people. They don't have time for this, although they're never doing anything important with their life. You
Yeah.
know, but I
They
don't
got all the
have time
time
for
in
this
the
kind of
world.
nonsense. Yeah, you do. You work at the VA. It's Saturday. You've been there for 31 years. You're not going anywhere.
yeah.
Well, do you want to know what is considered more humane ways to kill lobster? Mm-hmm. Either stunning them with an electric gun or chilling them in cold air or ice before boiling them.
By the way, how long before the human is killed because he has the high capacity electric gun? He's got the huge pot of water there.
Oh, sure.
He's been drinking wine
With a,
the whole
like a
day.
cow brander.
He's holding the thing up. Floor's wet.
Yeah.
Goes in with the cow brander. Hits
Quickly.
the water.
Quickly.
He gets fried.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's already illegal in Switzerland, Norway, and New Zealand to just put a lobster into a pot.
Don't you think they don't adhere to that?
What are you supposed to do with it?
Either stun it or chill it to death.
Oh, like freeze it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that... okay, what do I know? Wouldn't that like preserve it in stasis?
I don't know. You drop it into liquid hydrogen. Nitrogen.
The Terminator.
You just...
Yeah, cold air or ice, it says. I mean, we could die from hypothermia. Why can't they?
You know my theory. It's my Gavin Newsom theory, where Gavin Newsom makes these proclamations where he goes like, by 2027, all vehicles need to be carbon neutral. And it's like, hold on, there's a homeless guy shitting on the podium right now. He stabbed your chief of staff with a syringe in the neck. Like, I think they say this shit because they go, look how fucking out of problems we are. Like,
that's right.
We're so done with problems that we're focusing on how to properly put down a lobster.
Yes.
But I would argue that once they're plucked from the sea, it's all kind of downhill
It's
from
anybody's
there.
game.
Like they're probably hoping for a death at that point.
A meaningful death so we can eat it.
And people aren't going to follow that. Like it's like, you know what else is illegal? Texting while driving. You know, like I did that on my way here in my Tesla because I have a Tesla, and I just want you guys to know that I have a Tesla.
Well, and I don't know really anything about crustaceans. I never even had them until I was well into my adult years because, again, we couldn't afford Red Lobster.
Yeah.
And we're Jewish. But they say, like, oh, you can hear it scream. Oh, no, that's just the shell releasing from the body. Like, do we know?
Releasing.
Is that what it is?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I think it's them screaming.
Yeah.
Well, look, we have the ability to fire a 300-pound black man in outer space, and we can't find a way to humanely kill it. We need to replace... Fire the black man into outer space. Like, I can't get cell phone reception. We put a giant black man in orbit. I can't get fucking 2 bars in this place.
Yeah, people will be like, you can't eat a lobster unless it died happily having Viagra sex.
Yeah.
It's like an old lobster or something. I don't know.
I like crab way more than lobster. I don't think lobster is that great. Don't tell your mom.
No.
But there are so many parts of a lobster that are so fucking disgusting.
True.
Yeah.
Like the tamale or whatever.
Chris is eating them all.
Oh, my God.
Well, you guys know I was just in Maine. I was just in Maine for a few days, and if you've ever been, lobster everywhere.
Yes.
Lobster shacks on the side of the road. It's not a fancy food.
Delicacy.
This is like trucker food, and I'm 100% serious. But like the best way to get it is if you're at a restaurant, is to get it like prepared because they'll scoop it all out and they'll do all the kind of dirty work for you.
Yeah.
The lobster tail, as romantic as that sounds, is pretty a lot of work, labor intensive.
I think the claw's better, right?
I don't
Better
like the
meat?
claw.
Why
I like
not?
the meat and the tail better.
Okay.
But let me ask you this sensitive question, Pete.
Yeah.
You're out here. We have a nickname for red lobsters. We call them red schwarzes. Is it a nickname app for the one in Wisconsin there?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Seems to attract a certain clientele.
Yeah, there was that.
So the tips weren't as great as you previously discussed?
I sold weed at them.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. Well, you know what I'm talking.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to talk about that without getting canceled. But it was a thing.
Jimmy and I went to the one on Wilshire. There was one on Wilshire.
Really?
God, how long ago was that?
Yeah, like Highland or La Brea.
Right off of La Cienega.
Oh,
I
West
think,
Side.
On Wilshire. Like La Cienega would be like restaurant
Wait, yeah,
row or
in
whatever.
like nice restaurant row?
Right on Wilshire.
Right by Fogo de Chão.
You're right. Stinking Rose.
You got to look it up, Chris, but you would go down La Cienega, turn right on Wilshire. It was right in there and had a lot of, it's very ethnic.
Yeah.
In there.
Diverse but not diverse.
It's a celebration of all cultures.
Yeah. I think we're talking about we're just talking about white people that white trash people that go in there that don't tip.
I was worried. I was
That's
thinking
exactly
the
what we're
demographic
talking
of
about.
Wisconsin, maybe a little.
Yeah. No, I'm. Oh god.
Okay.
Wait, can I? My girlfriend did send the picture, the podcast picture
of her naked.
Do you want to see it?
The
yeah,
boob
or
picture.
semi-naked.
Yeah, that's
Holy
her.
shit!
I know,
Wow.
right? I don't know.
That is
How,
Pass that over here.
I'll pass it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, okay.
She has perfect boobs.
It's insane. Like I literally, like I don't
I'm
know
hypnotized.
how
That's
to
an
not.
ample bosom.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gina. Yeah.
We have sex and I write her out a thank you afterwards. I have a stack of them next to the bed. I'm like,
what?
"Oh,
I'm
thank
not
you
done
so
looking at
much."
that.
Yeah, she's
Into what?
I can only do the T.
God damn.
yeah.
Oh,
Her
give me
mom,
that phone.
her mom and her dad are big fans of the podcast as
Wow.
well.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
And
Looks
so
good.
so is she. So for mom and dad, I could turn that and you can see what you made.
Also, I know even though it's covered, I can tell she has high nipple placement.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's-
you can tell.
That's what you want.
They're pointing towards Strahan.
Yeah. Just up in the sky.
What's her name again?
Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Nicole.
we salute you.
My response back is going to be, I can't wait to check that mic. That's going to be
That's good.
my witty response back.
Yeah. She should also do the mic drop and then send another
Yeah.
picture, you know?
That's right.
Like she punctuates it.
That's right.
All right, that's a way better response.
Do we find where the red Schwarzer was on It was on Wilshire off of La Cienega? Yeah. It's not there anymore, though, is it?
I've
No,
passed
it's
that
closed.
area many times. I've never seen a Red Lobster.
I went there, I ate with Jimmy. It was right after our San Francisco trip. We are like, we gotta keep this honeymoon going.
Yeah, seriously.
We were researching a movie, the one we were doing with Ivan Reitman.
Okay.
Our characters like ended up at a Red Lobster.
Right.
And takeaway was they had a drink called a lobster Rita, which I just thought it sounded like the least appetizing
Like a
cocktail.
Clamato?
I pictured like pulverized
Right.
lobster in
Great
a
Beatles song,
blender. And
Meter maid.
they had
Lobster Rita.
Rita? Yeah, the lobster Rita, which is I get it. You're Red Lobster. You don't have to name everything. You know, you have to name the toilet paper. Lobster native.
Take a pinch.
Yeah, like it's just dumb.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like it is as expensive as any nice, non-chain seafood
Sure.
dining place you would go out
That's
to.
why we couldn't afford it. It was really
not
out of
even.
our price range.
Right.
Do we have time for one more? Since
One
it's
more.
Thanksgiving. I'll do these as a twofer. Two Thanksgiving things. Vinny has said this in the past, but we're going to reiterate it. Enough, basta, Dianu, with the tryptophan and the turkey makes you tired. It's not the turkey. After you shovel in the stuffing and the potatoes and the yams with marshmallows and syrup, that is what is making you tired, and the alcohol. It is not the turkey. Leave the turkey alone. Also, I'm going to have you guys guess. I'm going to hide my little screen here.
So this is basically the version, right? So you do a nutty carb load. You wash it down with
Pie.
Crown Royal
Yeah.
and pie, and then at some point you're like, oh, that turkey
Yes.
made that white meat
Yeah.
made me so sleepy.
Yeah.
Bringing in bags of ice
Yes.
from Auntie so-and-so.
So this is
Exactly.
like when I used to
Can't
do
snap.
Love Line.
That's right.
You would get the calls like somebody put something in
Mm-hmm.
my drink because I don't even remember. I was like, what do you? Well, we were doing Jaeger bombs
Two
at
lobster
noon.
Ritas.
Then we started doing body shots at 2. Then we started doing we butt funneled Everclear, and by 2 a.m. I couldn't even remember. And I know someone's put something
been
in
poisoned.
one of my 29 drinks. Somebody may have put something. It's like you're fucking drinking all night.
Yeah. So same thing. Don't blame the turkey. We have an average from the Calorie Control Council. The average, what the average American will consume calorie count
How'd you
on
like to
Thanksgiving.
work at that place, Gina?
I would hate it.
Them fucking just looking down their nose at
I
everything.
grew up at it. Yeah, I grew up with her.
You'd come home. Oh, Chipotle. You'd go to work. Yeah, Chipotle's an interesting choice.
She'd ask to induct her mom into the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh my God.
My mom right
Calorie
next, holding a
Council.
snack well. So I am going to have you guess what the average calorie consumption is at a Thanksgiving Day meal.
Total, not more than the average, just the total for the day.
Yeah, for
Okay.
Thanksgiving, especially Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I don't know calories like other people
So
know calories.
I think I could be wrong, but they want you to be around like I don't know, say 1,500 calories a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a dieting woman. A man will have 2,500
Yeah,
calories.
I always thought 2,000 or above or something like. All right, so 6,600.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was going to
Get
go
the defibrillator.
I don't know.
I was going to go high, but not quite that high. I'll say 5,100.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to Prices Right it, and I'm going to go low at 3,800 calories.
Well, you and Brian can split the difference. The average you will consume on Thanksgiving is 4,500 calories.
I win.
229 grams of fat. And if you want to burn it off, according to Best Life magazine, you can cycle for 15 hours, or you can go on a 10-hour hike or a 28-mile run.
By the way, the calorie thing that's on the treadmill, like you're fucking sweating your ass off. You've been there for forever.
Grab
You've
it.
binge watched, 7 car shows, and it's like you burn 110 calories. Like, and then you look at a fucking box of raisins, got 137
That's right.
calories.
Yeah.
Like, there's
That's
no
less than
way.
a Coke.
How could this work?
That's right.
But how? How
I
does
don't
that?
know. That's why Vinny's not a calorie guy. He says don't count calories.
So you eat this
Chico.
and you
Great
ride
story.
a bicycle and listen, anyone who does that bike ride or the jog, the early mornings.
Yeah, the turkey
I don't
trot
wanna
on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Just fucking point your ass to out of town and don't ever loop back. Just
Keep
keep
dr-
going.
keep
I don't want
jogging.
to see you out exercising when I'm fucking loading up on calories.
Yeah, congratulations, Uncle Brian. You're going to die 5 days after me.
That's right. Or just like run in place in with the curtains closed
Yeah, the
in your
privacy of your
living
own
room.
home.
I don't need it out on display.
I agree.
All right, let's bring it home then.
You
Or
got
do we
it.
have another one?
No, I wanted to end on a little turkey news. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
All right, live shows. I'm doing some specials at the Improv in Brea. Going to have Patrick Warburton and TJ Miller going to join us. We're going to tape over there. You can go to amcarolla.com for all the live stuff and the Carolla Christmas combo at carolladrinks.com as well. You get a signed card and some mangria and all sorts of good stuff. So go check that out as well. Pete Lee, Tall, Dark, and Pleasant's available now on Showtime. And then shows coming up, Milwaukee Improv this weekend, and then Cleveland Hilarities, and website. You go to petelee.net, and you can find all the available dates for Mr. Lee and where he's bringing his brand of mirth. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Pete Lee and Gina Grad and Bald Brian. Say it. Mahala. God, there's a picture of me, Jimmy, and Andy Dick on stage at X Games 2, or I don't know. It was San Francisco.
Look at Jimmy. He definitely knew that he was going to be on camera from the waist up because he's wearing sweatpants and a nice button-up shirt. He's basically like that. He pioneered the Zoom call.
Yeah.